How to learn any language in 6 months. This is the title of a talk by Chris Lonsdale, a talk that he held within the framework of the TEDx Talks series, and this was put online in November 2013. Although I'm completely in line, and I completely agree with many things that he says in this video. I don't really understand his take on immersion.
People also think that immersion in a new country is the way to learn a language. But look around Hong Kong. Look at all the Westerners who've been here for 10 years who don't speak a word of Chinese. Look at all the Chinese living in America, Britain, Australia, Canada, who've been there 10, 20 years and they don't speak any English. Immersion per se does not work. Why? Because a drowning man cannot learn to swim. When you don't speak a language, you're like a baby, and if you drop yourself into a context which is all adults talking about stuff over your head, you won't learn.
This is what he says about immersion. So he conceives immersion as being in a country and living in your own bubble, just like many expats do all over many countries in the world, just like Hong Kong, as he said. But this is not the concept of immersion in language learning as it is known by many linguists and also by many language trainers. Immersion means a completely different thing. What he means is living as an expat in one case, and in the second case living as an eternal immigrant in a country without a lot of exchange between the people who speak the language in that country and the group that migrated into that country. Yeah, which is a fact that exists. It's just parallel universes that hover around each other and don't really get in contact. But this is not immersion in language learning. In language learning, immersion is to be surrounded by the language every day, every moment. It is to think in a language. It is to look at everything you've got. You're looking at a recipe, for example, in that language. Let's say you're learning French. You live in France, and you want to learn that language. So basically, you have to want it, of course. But immersion is exactly that. You are in that country and you immerse yourself completely into that language environment and learn it and be in contact with people. Talk at any time that is possible. At any time you get the opportunity to talk, you would do that. And that's what immersion is about. And it is not to live in a country or to travel to a country and live in your hotel and then think, okay, somehow I will hear voices and language and I will learn it. No. So we see in the following scenes of that video that actually what he suggests as principles of learning and what he also suggests as actions that follow those principles is good, and it is true, but this is also part of the immersion as we as language learners know it. I don't know how a linguist conceives immersion in that way. But if you, for example, Google that word, immersion and language learning, we can do it just now. What do we get as results here? We get as results, firstly, language immersion in an entry in Wikipedia. In this entry, language immersion is defined as a technique used in bilingual language education in which two languages are used for instruction in a variety of topics, including math, science, or social studies. So, this is one way to look at it. So you go to school and you have two languages in which you learn the subjects that you have to learn. So it means you have to know all the terms and you have to express yourself in that language to explain things. You write your exams in that language. You talk to the teacher in that language. You have to think in that language in a way. So this is immersion. So you can't really escape it. So that's the idea, not escaping the usage of a certain language. So if we look at the search results again, we have other results. We have other results here, which is, this one is also bilingual, about bilingual education. And then there is a site Fluento, which is a commercial site, which also says that language immersion can also be made while being at home without traveling in a different country. So this is that site. So you see the top results, all the top results show that immersion actually is to immerse yourself completely, not in a country and live there completely isolated from other people, but to immerse yourself into the language world of that country. Or let's say, if you can, you still live at your place in your country, but you immerse yourself completely or as completely as possible into the language that you're learning. So you are doing everything in that language. You listen to podcasts in that language. You look up things in that language. You have your computer operating system adjusted to the language that you learn. So everything is in that language. Instead of edit and so on, you have other commands and so on that you find. So, or your phone, all the settings, for example, all the messages that you get from the OS in your on your phone are in that language, and so on. Okay, so that was the idea that I wanted to share with you. What immersion means to me, what immersion is. Actually, ideally, go to a country, live there for 2 or 3 months if you have the money and the time, and be part of the language community of the place without touching your mother tongue or another tongue that you or another language that you speak very well. All right, that was it for today, and I hope you will like this video, and I hope you will immerse yourself in any language that you want. See you in the next video.